This is KTVO's Good Morning Heartland.
Welcome back. If you've ever had a toothache, you know how painful they can be, but do you know what is causing all that pain? Well, sometimes there's some underlying issues that you'll probably need to focus on and get fixed to kind of get that pain to go away. This morning we have Dr. Liz Kaz, an Associate Dean for Education and Assessment at A.T. Still University's Missouri School of Dentistry and Oral Health, with us this morning to break it all down for us. How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good.
So I always thought, you have a toothache, it's you have a cavity or you ate too many sweets, but there can actually be some serious problems behind it that's causing it. So
yes, normally the most common cause of any dental pain or issue is usually decay. Dental decay is the biggest thing. I brought some slides with me today so I can kind of walk you through this.
Okay.
There's some real obvious things with toothaches. And the picture that you're seeing there is tooth decay. It's probably when you go in, that's what's going to be the cause of it, but there could be some other things happening too. But again, tooth decay is the most common reason that you're going to get a toothache. If you go to the next slide, you'll see that a cracked tooth can actually create some issues for you as well. Now on this slide, you can see that on the left, you've really got the tooth there, and you can see where the filling is and the tooth is cracked.
Yeah.
And then on the x-ray, I don't know, I feel sorry for the guy that this happened to. But
that's like split in half.
Yeah, and when you would be chewing, you would know that this would be the issue because the tooth is actually flexing and moving. So that causes a lot of pain as well.
What about when like a cavity filling falls out? Could that also, and sometimes I know a long time ago, part of my tooth fell out with my cavity filling.
Yes, yeah. And anytime that you have a situation like that, you're exposing the pulp of the tooth to the oral environment, and that means sugars, hot, cold, sensitivities that it normally does not experience. So that's why you're going to get some sensitivity to that and pain.
All right, now let's talk about abrasion.
Oh yes, well, being a hygienist, we see it a lot. I suffer from abrasion, and it's really a mechanical wear of the gum line of your teeth. It kind of actually creates a V notching, and if you look at the slide, you'll see that right along the canine and what we call the premolar areas, you get a lot of mechanical wear, and it's from people not brushing correctly. This takes a long time to happen, but if you look at that one tooth, you'll see where there's a little more yellow in there.
Yeah.
That's actually wearing down into the dentin of the tooth. We've worn through the enamel. Now we're going into the dentin. The next layer is going to be the pulp. So you have almost a direct communication from the oral environment to the pulp, and that's where all your nerve center is. So that's why you're going to have some sensitivity. Hot, cold, touch, just even cold air can make this real sensitive.
Now, is that the same as receding gum lines?
It is.
Okay,
yeah.
All right.
They're all kind of bound up into periodontal disease can actually make the gums recede, so you'll get some sensitivity there. Abrasion is more just wearing the gums away.
Okay, all right. So now let's talk about infections. There are different kinds of infections that can actually cause dental pain, so let's talk about those.
Yeah, those are the less obvious types of situations. But when you go into the dental office, many times the doctor will ask you, okay, have you had any cold or sinus infection? Before we get into the sinus infections, you'll see this is a picture where we've had the decay actually on the picture on the left has actually moved down the root down to what we call the apex, or the very tip of the root, and that's actually a little pus pocket, and that's what creates such the pain to the point where if you look at the picture of the gentleman, the graphic there, I've heard some people say that the pain in a tooth like that is almost as bad as childbirth.
Wow.
So it's very painful. You have to think about, you have a sac of fluid actually expanding in the bone. So you don't want to mess with that. Dental infections are nothing to wait and say, oh, it'll go away. You really need to get in and have
And another one you just mentioned was the sinus infection.
Yes, sinusitis. Sometimes when the picture you're seeing right now, if you look just below the eyes, you're going to see kind of some triangular shaped spaces. Those are your maxillary sinuses, and many times your upper teeth from your canines to your molars may actually communicate with the sinus. They're right there, the tips of the roots are right there, and if you have a sinusitis, you can have toothaches as well.
Interesting. And then we have one more slide with an infection as well. So, and what is this, like a canker sore?
There is a canker sore that it's really not a true infection, but sometimes that can cause pain in the mouth. These are very, very sore. I mean, they haven't really figured out exactly why people get canker sores, but it's a very painful lesion. And then over to the left, periodontal disease. End stages of periodontal disease can create some toothaches. Generally speaking, early stages of perio, there is no pain, unfortunately. Otherwise, people would get it treated sooner. But those are some of the underlying things that can cause pain in the mouth area.
And discomfort. And if you have any sort of pain or discomfort, like you said, don't just hold off and wait, oh, it's going to go away tomorrow, whatever. Go to the dentist. I know a lot of people hate the dentist, including myself, but I mean, there could be a serious problem.
There really could. And, you know, that's the one thing I just really want to reinforce is that you just don't let things go and get them treated. I've also given you a website that if you want to go in and kind of see what your symptoms are, on the ADA website there's a symptom checker that you can go in and it'll just walk you through that whole process.
Perfect. And what we'll do is we'll post that on our website at heartlandconnection.com. And also if you have a smartphone, you know, you can look up different, you know, dental apps and stuff like that to kind of help you as well until you get to the dentist. So thank you so much, Dr. Kaz, for coming on. And again, we'll post everything on our website at heartlandconnection.com and we'll be right back.